Hello again, my name is Bamba, Jim Bamba, and I'm speaking on behalf of Life, the Basic Manual again. This is the last talk I'm going to be giving on living with cancer. In the first three, and just as an introduction to prostate cancer in the first one, and in the second one into the kind of diagnosis and the way prostate cancer is diagnosed and treated. And then in the last one, I went into specifics about the operations that I've had and how it is for me now. In this last one, I want to go into the psychological and psychosexual consequences of this, because in the first part, I strongly suggested that men 30s, 40s, 50s, especially even men younger, go to their GP and just ask for the simple blood test, which can help diagnose prostate cancer every 3 months, every 6 months, every 12 months, and then you won't have to go through what I've been through, 5 operations. Now, after all that, the consequences of all that, I touched on it in the last talk, where I'm in pain a lot of the time. I use a walking stick. I can't do what I used to be able to do, which was play the drums. I can play the drums with my hands, but not my, I have a problem with my undercarriage. Believe me, I tried, but it put me in hospital. And it taught me a lesson about medication. Don't over-medicate yourself and then think you can do something which you can't. I think there was a little feat that said, no, don't make a promise that your body can't keep, and that kind of thing. So here in this one, I'm going to talk about the aftermath of this, because the other thing that I've lost is my sexual libido. Now, there's no one to blame for this. Prostate. Some people who've had their prostate removed are perfectly happy sexually. They can achieve erections. Obviously, they don't have any seminal fluid, because that's part and parcel of the delivery system for seminal fluid. But they have a perfectly happy sex life. That's not the case with me. Because my prostate gland was so chock-a-block full, and my surgeon tried his level best to get it all and couldn't, then what happens is your nerves are spiraled around what is a little walnut-shaped thing, which is what your prostate is, and the surgeon has got to go in and deal with blood vessels and nerves which are spiraled around that little organ, remove it and take it out. And unfortunately for me, now my sexual life is non-existent. And so playing the drums, my sexual life has left the building, and believe you me, I was quite fond of both of those things, So here again, these are the consequences that I've been talking about. And in this last little clip, I want to talk about the psychological damage that this kind of thing does. Because when I left, my outpatients, I can remember my last outpatients visit to Blackburn, I wasn't given any leaflets, or I wasn't pointed in any direction for psychological help. I was pointed to a lovely Persian gentleman who tried his level best to get me an erection again, but couldn't, which is another story and very funny, and I might do it on another time. But I wasn't given anything. I wasn't even given a Macmillan leaflet, for example. I think people have heard of Macmillan, and I can't recommend them enough. Now, as well as being a drummer and a percussionist, I'm a qualified psychotherapist, and also because I'm in recovery, and I'm used to holding my hand up and asking my help. Now, a lot of people aren't, and especially us men. We don't want to talk about this anyway, and B, we definitely don't want to talk about how we're feeling about things. It's difficult for us, and so I can't emphasize it enough that if you do if you do, neglect to take my advice and have the blood test when you're 30 and 40, when you get to 50, you might have to go through what I'm going through. So, but if you have been what I'm going through, and you've suffered with prostate cancer, and you're suffering with it alone psychologically, please, either ring Macmillan, get help, hold your hand up and get help, because there's nothing worse than having no help and not being able to talk to people about it. The therapeutic value of people talking to each other, I mentioned that before, So the three big values here in these 4 little talks that I've been having is, one, all men really, please just ask your doctor for the very simple PSA, prostate specific antigen test, so that you can have a kind of pre-diagnosis, and if you catch it early, you won't have to go through all the stuff that I've had to go through. Secondly, when if you have been diagnosed and you've had to go through, make sure that your treatment is exactly tailored to get, in a way, become your own expert. Do as much research into prostate cancer as you possibly can. And lastly, if you've had to go through this and are living with the consequences, then please get help. You'll have local groups. You'll have local, discussion groups, and Macmillan Cancer. I can't recommend it enough. They can put you in touch with all kinds of help. Financial, even. The lot. So I hope that's been helpful, and thank you for listening.